I'm talking about a huge, prehistoric looking and allegedly very dangerous bird, the Southern Cassowary. If you don't know me, my name is Chiara. I am a bird photographer based in Europe, and a few months ago I went all the way to Australia trying to find and photograph as many birds I could. Most of my birding in Australia was done with an untargeted approach. Whatever I could see there would be wonderful and new for me anyway. There were only a few birds I really wanted to see. Among them, my top target was the Southern Cassowary, one of the biggest birds existing on Earth. After spending a few days in Melbourne to recover from jet lag, a 3-hour flight brought me to Far North Queensland, which around 4,000 of Southern Cassowaries call home. After driving for a couple of hours, I arrived to the Daintree village.
This is definitely the most humid place where I've ever been in my entire life. It's just 6 a.m. I'm sweating.
After spending one night there, a small ferry brought me towards the other side of the river. That's actually the only way to proceed north because there are no other roads or bridges. I made it to the northern part of the Daintree National Park, which is one of the best hotspots for Southern Cassowaries in Australia. And so my search officially began. I spent hours walking in the Daintree rainforest. It was very hot and humid, but I was just blown away by the beauty of those places. And every step I took, I was hoping to meet the cassowary. During my walks, I found many of the cassowary pups. Their poo is actually very important because they eat rainforest fruits, and then pooing out the seeds, they play a vital role in seed dispersal. I kept walking, hoping for that encounter to happen. I spent hours along the Jindalba boardwalk, where the bird was seen only a couple of weeks before. But the first time I visited the place, it was packed with tourists, so I went there also a second time, early morning the day after. That morning, alone in the rainforest, was a day I won't forget, because I found another iconic Australian bird.
I did take a photo, but amazing, I've seen a long tail. Oh. I don't know how, but I got a photo of the paradise kingfisher. I mean, it's not great, but it's a paradise kingfisher. I can't believe it.
Of course, I was very grateful for that moment. However, still no sign of the Southern Cassowary. The frustration just kept building up with all the effort I was putting in my search. But I didn't want to give up, so I kept going. Actually, one of the best places Southern Cassowaries are often seen is by the road. There is plenty of signs around to encourage people to slow down and keep an eye out for cassowaries who might be crossing. I drove along that road for hours at a very limited speed to try to maximize the chances of spotting a bird. But still, no success. Time was running out. On my last day in Far North Queensland, I had a cruise in the ocean booked, but I decided to cancel it. I only had a few hours left and possibly my last chance in life to find this bird, so I decided to check on another spot. This was a complete change in my itinerary, but I had to try, so I head south. And while driving there, this happened.
I was just driving and I spotted a cassowary. It's just there.
The deep blue of the Southern Cassowary was so clear in that green field. I got off the car and kept walking on the road to try to get a better view. It was such an happy moment, and these are the photos that I've taken there. Finally, I could appreciate the amazing appearance of these prehistoric looking birds, with their deep blue heads and necks, the two bright red wattles, the casque, and the dense, long black feathers. After taking these photos, I left the cassowary and went back to my car. But immediately it felt as my luck really changed, as after driving for 1 minute, another Southern Cassowary was by the road, this time even closer, and was eating. Southern cassowaries are predominantly frugivorous. They feed on fruits that have fallen to the forest floor. The seeds of digested fruits are then passed in the cassowary species, and so cassowaries play an important role in seed dispersal. Also, this bird had such an impressive casque, much bigger than the one of the bird that I just have seen. Southern cassowaries are really huge. They are the third tallest birds on Earth after ostriches and emus, and the second heaviest after ostriches. At that point, I was already completely happy with my day, but I still decided to reach the beach, which was supposed to be my final destination. I explored the beach and found other cassowaries poop.
Madonna santa, dove sono? I freaked out. There was a giant crab in the cassowary poop.
And then I just seated on a bench looking at the ocean. That was literally my last hour in this amazing region, and I just want to take some time to feel my extreme gratitude.
I can't believe this trip has already come to an end, so in 8 hours I'll have my flight that will bring me back to Melbourne City. It's been just wonderful. A place so different compared to the other ones that I visited in my life. I wish I had more time.
But then I turned towards my left side, and another Southern cassowary appeared, calmly going around eating some fruits on the beach and on the road. I honestly felt so lucky in that moment. Cassowaries are such interesting animals. Unfortunately, their population is decreasing. Threats to the species include habitat loss and fragmentation, mainly for residential, agriculture, and commercial development. Southern cassowaries are misunderstood birds. They have a reputation for being dangerous to humans and animals and are often regarded as aggressive. But in truth, they are typically shy and reclusive. However, they will, like most animals, become aggressive when threatened. They possess a sharp claw up to 12 cm in length on the inner toe of each foot. When threatened, cassowaries will jump and strike with this claw, potentially resulting in lethal lacerations. However, at the moment there are only 2 reports of people killed by cassowaries. But it's very likely that for both these cases the bird was just trying to defend itself. Actually, humans are much more dangerous for the cassowaries. In areas where people have taken to feed them, they can act boldly and aggressively in expectation to be fed, and in some cases they will chase people to get food. This is why it's so important to follow a specific set of rules in case you're lucky enough to meet this bird. At the end, it took me a whole week to find the Southern cassowaries, with very early alarms and hours spent walking in the rainforests. I admit that I was frustrated, but perseverance paid off at the end. If you want to read more about my birding in Australia, I have 2 articles on my blog and plenty of other content on Instagram. I'm just starting out with my YouTube channel, and you can watch my introduction video here. If you enjoyed this vlog, let me know in the comments and consider subscribing to the channel not to miss my next birding adventures.